Hey, Sean G here from Chasing the Truth. You're about to get some of the best of samples of shows I've done over the last 5 years. God bless y'all and enjoy. I have had Linda Godfrey. Have you heard of Linda Godfrey on the?
Yeah, I've heard the name, and I'm
Okay.
sure I've probably watched a lot of videos. I'm a late night YouTuber,
Yeah.
it just all
Oh yeah.
blends together.
Well, just look her up. She was the Michigan Bit or Dog Man. She was behind that, and on
hmm
the monsters thing on History Channel, I had her on the show, and I actually long before I got her on my show, I actually came up with what if you mentioned ley lines earlier. If
hmm
you took a ley line map, or you took a map of, say, UFO sightings, which, you've got a plethora, a myriad of crazy sightings all over the place that are charted in various platforms. Also, Dogman, Bigfoot, all these cryptid creatures are charted or plotted out on maps. UFO sightings, also paranormal sightings. And you lay those maps one on top of each other. Have you ever looked at it and seen how correlated they are together?
Oh yeah, it's eerily similar. Mention the Native American Indian mounds and the
Oh yeah.
battlegrounds of the fallen wars, and even crime. Even crime. It stirs people up. Why you think the Mothman's out in Chicago? Because things are happening. Disasters awaits. We have to be careful.
Oh yeah. So have you been to Chicago and researched this Mothman thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've went to Chicago on multiple occasions. It was a couple years ago, so it's not really the heavy flurry of recent times. But of course, I heard the stories long ago. Mothman sightings have been overseas in Ohio. Of course, the Point Pleasant, West Virginia story. Down here in Florida in the Everglades, Mothman's been spotted. And of course, I'm a big fan of Jeepers Creepers, Quetzalcoatl, dragons. So I think there's some kind of link to all of it because these are just mythological creatures that have some kind of root of reality around us, and there's definitely something to it. Thunderbirds and trolls. There's something to it.
The one cryptic creature that I have heard about a lot of stories about, especially from some of the indigenous people up in Canada. I actually had one guy that I had on my show, and he told me hours and hours. He had a weird format of how he told stories. So he started from his youngest days, and he would not skip ahead and tell me, "Hey, let's go to this story." Now I'll tell you in a little bit. But he got to the point where he told about these little people cryptids that was on some of the Indian lands up through there. And that I was like, I don't want to meet any of these things. Or any little people creatures down in Florida, around Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. I actually just had a pretty nice TikTok video that popped off a little bit interviewing Tristan Smith and his brother Cameron from Hidden Relief. They've had elf-like creatures in their home, and they live in a little trailer park, so there's multi places of their whole family, so you get multiple encounters. But some six-legged creature was chasing their little cousin Wyatt. Tristan has a little house elf inside his house that dug a hole behind his bed. And I've talked to some old timers. Well, one old timer, he looks like a Duck Dynasty guy. He's got a big beard. He actually lived in the forest after Hurricane Michael for like months. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a few, so I hope he's doing all right. But he used to live by a mound down here in Florida, and he dug into it, and he found a little green fairy-like creature, like a gremlin, I guess it would be. But
Oh,
I've heard tons of stories, and then I've been chasing the woods up in Ohio on my bikes from some just strange things. Dogs, raccoons, just weird things when you're out in the night and you're not supposed to really be out, laying off firecrackers and ding dong ditching people. But that's me, and sometimes you have to stir the pot. Of course, I'm not doing that nowadays, but when I was a teenager, that's how I got into some of my mischief. That's how I would run into the grass man. And when I was out fishing on Lake Erie, I was always looking for Bessie, the South Bay serpent. And
mm-hmm.
it's just always been a part of me, and I'm always trying to warn people, and they take it as a joke because I'm kind of the goofy guy, with the long hair and big ears, and they take it as just folklore. But once you look into it, there's something to it, and I love that spark. And just looking out for people is magical itself.
So you just do you cover UFOs as well? That's another hot topic with me. And I actually reviewed
Yeah.
some photographs today, and I said, "Did you see this in this photograph?" And I was talking to my girlfriend Terry, and she's like, "No." I said, "The photograph you took of a sunset's got something in it." And I'm
Wow.
one of these people that I'm not big on pixelation or whatnot, and I've had a lot of arguments, especially with Terry, about pixelation. But this was straightforward something in that. But
Yes, I'm definitely a huge UFO fan myself, and I'd like to see that picture. I'd have to see it, especially sunset. I love seeing the clear as day ones, like during the day, because that's just not what you usually think with the UFOs. You think nighttime. I posted a video about 2 weeks ago from Bluntstown, Florida, a town over. There was like 6 lights in the sky, and it broke apart. And what was weird was there was like 4 people talking about it, one video. But a lot of people, mentioned it around here. I'm not sure if it made national news or anything. I honestly didn't see much about it, but I already wrote about it, so it'll be coming out in some kind of work of mine. But I've had my fair share of UFO encounters. I'm really big into like ancient potions, Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds. It really takes you to the other side, and we've done it with blood moon eclipses and meteor showers back in the day, and you see crazy things in the sky when you open yourself up. 2001 Space Odyssey just comes to life. Stanley Kubrick, thank you. It's literally cinematic outside in nature. That's what I love. I love movies and I love nature. So if I can bridge that, I'm in a magical place.
so, what's your? Have you ever seen a UFO personally?
Yes, I have. I've seen daytime ones while I was playing catch with my neighbor just recently, probably 2 or 3 months ago. And then one time we had something dash in front of us when we were, under the influence of some stuff. And we didn't even mention it to each other, me and my best friend Jake, until after. And it just froze. And we're like, do you see that? And then it turned into a line. And it felt like it was manipulating our minds. It's just I've had a new respect for the skies ever since then, and I'm big on getting your own moonlight because I'm not big on moonlight being reflection of the sun. I don't believe that. I think the moon is its own deity, and the moonlight is very valuable. It is good for your skin. It's good for your mind. It makes you dream, and everybody's heard of the moon water and different smells and candles you can use to really induce some deep thoughts.
I also use moonlight to charge up crystals as well.
Yes, yes. I forgot to touch on that, but yes, that is yes, 1,000,000%. And I love the ideas about crystals. Once they serve their purpose, they can vanish. They're made out of the same energy, like I was saying before, particle and waveform. Once they are them true self, boom, waveform. They're not particle anymore. And people have a hard time believing that, but come on, guys, we dream and we make worlds in our sleep, and then we wake up with amnesia, and we want to act like that's normal. I saw someone mention that online, and I just think that's so genius. I'm like, oh my gosh, we act like everything's so normal in this fairy tale. We spell words. It's called a fairy tale. We leave our teeth under our pillow for the tooth fairy, and then people want to make fun of me for loving the fae or fearing the fae. Come on, guys, it's not all Tinkerbell. It's some real stuff.
Yeah, touch back on the little people. I would never want to see a little person, or not a little person cryptid, to be more specific. Because the tales I heard about what's coming out of Canada with these cryptid little people, if you make a deal with them, you get it's not good for you. They'll take
Yeah,
what
you
they
never come out
want.
on top.
No,
Right.
but anyway. Let's see. One of the intriguing things that I saw on your accounts that you posted was something about a cryptid finger bone.
Yes, yes. That has made a pretty big buzz recently, and I did a lot of talking about it today at InfinityCon because we had pictures of it, and Ron.
Hey, folks, thanks for listening to this best stuff sample of some of my 5 years in doing this radio show podcast called Chasing the Truth. Please visit iamdarkwaters.com, or you can email me at seang@iamdarkwaters.com. And my numbers and links are in the description below. God bless y'all, and I'll catch you on the flip side.